Hey Simmers, this is Sims Freeplay Design Heaven here, back again. I'm going to do another visual walkthrough or a tour of one of my houses today. So I'm going to start with this house here, it is actually one of my favorite houses. I said that about the last video, but all of my houses are my favorite houses, I guess. This one here, it looks like an odd shape, but once we go in, you'll actually see that it's on purpose and it's meant to look like that. So let's dive right in. Okay. So this house, first off, obviously, it's snowing in this house. For those of you who don't know how to change the weather, in the description of this video, I'll actually put a little bit of detail on when the weather machine becomes available within Sims. So you can, I might even put a link in there as well. There's a really great website called The Girl Who Games. I might put a link into her website as well so you guys can see firsthand how to get the weather machine. So, a little bit of background on this house. I designed this house just after the red update, so when all that red furniture came through and the SP were red. As you can see, the overwhelming theme of the house is red. I was going to design this house on a big lot. When I bought all the red furniture, I was going to design like heaps of stories. It was going to be a really big mansion. But then I kind of thought about it and I thought, no, I want this to be like a really nice sort of petite house that looks really comfy, really warm, really inviting. I didn't want the red to be too overwhelming. I thought if it was in a really big house, the red would kind of consume, too much of the visual. So I wanted to make sure that it was a real, it was pop. I wanted a lot of pop colors. That's why the flooring is white. The only other colors that I've really used in this house have been the wood colors, the black and the white as well. So it's really kind of, I wanted to focus in and make sure that even though I used that strong red throughout the entire house, it was it was just a nice subtle through line throughout the entire decoration and the placing and the dressing of the house. Beautiful. Okay, so we might start with the hallway here. So I went with the clear doors, which you can see, and I went with the clear doors inside as well because I really wanted this to feel like it was a ski lodge. So, well, not necessarily a ski lodge, actually, more like a holiday house, sort of maybe something that maybe a famous person owns, and you can sort of go and stay there for, a couple of weeks at a time, and it's quite expensive to go and stay there, but it's probably on a really high mountain. That's why I've got all these windows here, so it's away from civilization, so no one's really going to kind of walk past and see you in the house. So I wanted to kind of make sure that there's obviously, in my mind, there's a beautiful view surrounding the entire house, and that's where you can see I've got the clear windows everywhere around the house. If you can see, I've got the walls up here, so that you can really take in the view of the mountains and the snow, and it's quite ethereal. That's kind of the idea that I wanted to have. But within the house, I wanted it to feel very modern. So it's a newly built house. It's a place where you feel it's quite luxurious again, but it's a different kind of luxury. It's very modern, very up to date, very hip, very chic, is a good word for it. So we've got the hallway here. I've just got a couple of the red chairs to keep in the theme of the red. So we'll go into the lounge room. So this lounge room, let me tell you, I bought all of these chairs. So I bought the black chairs and the red chairs here. So you can see the one-person chairs, and then the two couches for the two-seater couches. And oh my god, it took me forever to figure out how to place these couches together. It was such a strange dynamic of having a two couch, because I was so used to doing houses with three couches, or three-seater couches, I should say. So it really did, and especially because the TV is only one block across. Usually, my TVs are actually 3 blocks across or 2 blocks across. So I had to kind of really rethink the way that I approached placing furniture in the lounge room. But I think, in a way, it really kind of shook me out of the norm and the way that I usually decorate houses and lounge rooms in particular, and it made me do something really different, which is this here. So I'm really happy with it. We've got the fire there. It's not a focus. It's not a feature point in the room. It's kind of off to the side. It's just there to make sure that you're nice and warm and cozy. Really, what we wanted the focus of this room to be was the actual living space itself. So what I kind of see when I'm looking at this here is that you've got all of your family and friends around here. You're sitting watching the television, or you're playing board games. You've got the board game up here. Again, in the description, I'll talk a little bit about the red furniture and how you can purchase that as well. But yeah, so it's a really nice communal space. It's really open. You've got a bit of greenery in there as well, which I really like. You will know if you've seen my Instagram or any of my houses, or if you're my neighbor. I'm obsessed with plants and putting plants in my houses. I think they're just so fresh, and I think they really brighten up a room when you put a plant in there. But yeah, so I'm really happy with the black and white and the red and the wood theme that's happening in the whole house, but in particular in this lounge room. I think it really works. All right, so let's go across to the kitchen. So the kitchen was obviously, it was quite easy to design the kitchen. Once I'd done the lounge room, it was just kind of a very fluid process into coming into the kitchen. The wood, the white and the black with these cabinets here in the kitchen were just the obvious choice. There was no other choice for me when it came to kitchen cabinets, and I really love them as well. I think they're quite vibrant in a way, which is such a strange thing to say about kitchen cabinets, but I think they're quite light-hearted. They're fun. They have a fun edge to them. I think a lot of the other kitchen cabinets with the black and the steel and the wooden ones, some of them can be very, dark and heavy. But these ones, I think, while still being stylish and not, crazy like some of the other ones with the faces on them and things like that, I think these are still quite light and fluffy. I always make sure I have a coffee machine in my houses, in my kitchens, because I just think it's just so cool to be able to make your own coffee. I'm a bit of a coffee fan myself. And then the table, obviously, is the SP Points furniture there, which, cost me an arm and a leg, but it was worth it because I think it just looks great. I just love this kitchen table. I do sometimes, I don't like the lights when they're on, so let's turn it on. Something about that colour, I'm just not a huge fan of, so I don't like it when it's night time and my Sims walk in there because the two lights go on and I'm like, oh, it just doesn't look as nice. But yeah, so that's the kitchen. Then we'll go out, and so just a small patio out the back here, and it's got the railing with with the beautiful, we've got an orange tree, we've got some roses, we've got some grapes growing out there. Of course, these wouldn't really be growing in the snow, I would assume. And yeah, the black and white theme and the red just, is very inclusive there. So we're going to pop out here. This is one of my favorite rooms, which is the piano room. That guitar usually wouldn't be there, but I always have my Sims playing guitar because it gives you hella XP. For 3 hours and 10 minutes, you get 1,650 XP for your Sims, which is insane. I think it's the most XP you can actually earn. I think I say that. If anyone wants to correct me, please do, because I love high XP activities. But that is if you've got if your Sim is on the entertainer life cycle and they do the guitar or any of the teen idol instruments, especially the expensive ones with the 3 stars. Yep, for 3 hours and 10 minutes, 1,650 XP, so it's great. So I make sure I always have one of those in my houses. But once I'm almost finished, I'm always up to level 55. Once that happens, I'm going to take all of the guitars and things out of my houses, and I'll just have a clean slate, and they won't have to be working so hard towards XP, and I can have a little bit more fun with my Sims. But this room here, so this is just my piano room, and there's windows on either side of it. The kind of idea behind this is that, maybe the famous person that owns this is a musician, and they sit in there and they have this beautiful view and they play the piano, and they come up with beautiful songs while they're in here, and they've got a really good view of the front area, so they might be looking out at the mountains, and then they've got a beautiful view of the patio out here, which is really tranquil, and it has that idea of like getting away from things. Even though it's snowing in there, you just rug up, sit out there, you might take a hot cup of cocoa and really relax and be at one with nature and have the fresh air outside. Okay, so now last thing is we're going to look at the bedroom and the ensuite. So the bedroom, there is the red bed with the black sheets, but I actually ended up going for this bed here because I just think it's a little bit more stylish and a bit more luxurious and elegant. I went for the red chest of drawers as well. It's the only use of red chest of drawers I have in this house, actually, but because I like it. But I think the rest of the red furniture is much more stylish than that chest of drawers there. I've got, your suitcase here because the idea is that this is a holiday house, so it's not necessarily going to be lived in all the time. So I made sure that I popped a suitcase in there. And then we go in here to the ensuite. So I love putting kitchen cabinets or just generally, I like using some of the Sims furniture in places that it's not meant to. So these are obviously kitchen cabinets, but I love putting them in there thinking that they're actually cupboards and drawers used for their Sims in their bedroom. I think it's just a really kind of cheeky way of doing something new and a bit creative as well. I think it kind of stretches the bounds of what you see on Sims, and I really love doing that. And when I see other people doing that as well, I get great ideas from other Simmers out there on Instagram, on Pinterest, and even on YouTube as well. Okay, cool. So this is the bathroom. Again, it's nothing, too special. It's pretty much like all my other bathrooms. That's, you've got the normal bath, the normal shower that I would always use. That sink is a favorite of mine, and that is so strange to say it, but that is my favorite toilet out of all the toilets on The Sims. But yeah, I like the two doorways as well. I think that's kind of nice, and I like the fact that I made sure the toilet was covered. So even though from the bed you can actually see in the bathroom, the only thing you can really see is the bath, because I wanted to make sure it seemed, again, kind of luxurious. It's really kind of, it's this luxurious thing of taking a bath and taking time out for yourself and being in the bath. And it's something that you would do on a lavish holiday. So that was the idea. So you could sort of see the bath from the bed and not the toilet, because we don't want to see the toilet. And then there's this beautiful patio. So I decided to go for the black, edging here instead of the white, which we've used over here, because I like that idea of it being a two-part, so it's equal parts black, equal parts white. As much as, the flooring is all white, I still wanted to make sure that there was that presence of black within the house, because I think it sets it off quite nicely. I think if it was all white, it would almost be too sterile and it wouldn't feel very homey. I think blackness kind of gives it a little bit of warmth without being too overpowering, hopefully. For me, black is my favorite color, so, or hue, I should say. So I always love black. Some people might think it's too overbearing when I pop it into houses, but it is something that, when I design my house one day, when I own it, it will have quite a bit of black in it as well. Not too much, but there will be black walls, I would say. And beautiful, there's this, fantastic little fountain here. Sometimes when I've built this lot, so this lot was actually the Japanese garden lot. It kind of, when I saw this lot, and you can't move that, you can't move that fountain there. I was so annoyed. I was like, oh no, it's stuck there. Like, what if it gets in the way of my building? And you do have to really adjust the entire way that you design your house to sort of center around that fountain there. But in the end, it actually has worked out for the better, because it's a more interesting design because of it. I feel like it's really added to have that tranquil garden in there that's only accessible from the bedroom. I think it's really kind of strengthened my design to have that there. So it's kind of a lesson to us all that, sometimes if you think something is so, immovable and it seems like it's really going to tear you down and it's so annoying to have there, sometimes it can actually work out for the best, and it can be there for a reason, and it works out being better for everybody. Okay, fantastic. So what I'm going to do for the last little bit here is, again, I'm going to pop the roof on so you guys can see what it looks like with the roof. So that's it there. I love how the snow comes up the wall as well. So obviously the walls are all black on the outside. Again, I've used, this is the second video in a row that I'll have been uploading with the corrugated iron roof, but I like that idea of it. It's quite, it's a new building, so I didn't want it to seem like it was an old building, and I wanted it to feel like, it was really up to date and really kind of groovy as well. So that was the idea. I don't even know if people use groovy anymore as a word, but there we go. I've used it anyway. But yeah, so that's my house. That's my my snow getaway. Beautiful. So if you guys liked this video, give me a thumbs up down the bottom there. And also comment. I love comments. On my first video, there's a couple of comments already, which is really exciting. So if you want to see anything, or if you want to ask me any questions, please feel free to do so. Follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is simsfreeplay_design heaven. I post photos almost daily, and I love Instagram. It's one of my favorite things. So, I put a lot of love into that one. And then subscribe to my channel if you liked this video, because more are coming. I'm going to be putting up all of my houses, and then eventually I'll be doing tutorials and hopefully be giving you a few tips on designing and the way that I approach design within my houses. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great day.